it's been a tournament where a lot of favorites have won, but there's still been drama just so far as we, go into the second weekend, after we get through this week. What's been your overall thoughts about the tournament and just, what you've seen?
Well, for it to just be the fifth time since 1989 that we have the top two seed lines all intact heading into the Sweet 16 certainly stands out, because you talk about the madness and you talk about Cinderella. The fact is, we don't have a Cinderella. The Cinderella's carriage didn't make the trip to this NCAA tournament, with the exception of Oakland beating Kentucky, in my opinion. Yale over Auburn, yeah, but the Ivy League sent a team to the Sweet 16 last year. It shouldn't be that shocking that Yale pulled something off. That makes for a better second weekend, guys. I'll be honest, covering this sport here in the recent years, we have had awesome first weekends. Awesome. We have also had great Final Fours. But in recent years, I don't remember any Sweet 16 or Elite Eight game that well.
Yeah.
I don't. I think we will remember several Sweet 16 and Elite Eight games. You have in this Sweet 16 a national championship game rematch.
Yep.
How many times you see that between UConn and San Diego State? You get R.J. Davis versus Mark Sears in Carolina, Alabama. You get the best offense, according to Ken Pomeroy from Illinois, against the best defense analytically in Iowa State. You get a red-hot Duke team against a tough Houston team, and Duke's playing much closer to what we thought they would be. You get Mark Few versus Matt Painter, and you get Dalton Connect of Tennessee meeting Baylor Shireman of Creighton, two of the best bucket getters in college basketball. This Sweet 16 has a couple of matchups that, if you had told me at the start of the tournament, would be a national semifinal, meaning a Final Four game, I would have said, wow.
Yeah.
So I really think everybody loves an upset. Everybody loves a Cinderella until Cinderella gets blown out in the Elite Eight and they run out of gas, because that's just sometimes how it goes. I think sometimes less chaos in the opening weekend makes for a better tournament going forward. I believe we're going to get that here this weekend.
Yeah. Well, what I find the most ironic, David, is all year we've seen incredible parity. Nobody could stay number one. We go to the conference tournaments. You got 8 seeds playing 9 seeds in some of these smaller conference tournaments. A lot of the favorite, there were 5, 6 bid stealers, but you get to the NCAA tournament, it's been chalky.
Man, John, some of these matchups you're talking about are just incredibly exciting. I mean, this Purdue-Gonzaga matchup is going to be one for the books. You talk about Tennessee-Creighton in a 2-3, the Iowa State versus Illinois in a 2-3, and then you got NC State, the lone double-digit seed to make it. I'm still kicking myself because I changed my pick there on that one. Who is a guarantee for you to make it onto the Elite Eight, and who are you having reservations about right now?
Well, UConn's a guarantee to make it to the Elite Eight.
Yeah.
In my opinion, nobody's stopping them. Although I think in the Elite Eight, they could get as much of a test as perhaps we'll see, because I just think that Illinois or Iowa State are tough, are really tough. Who else do I feel confident on? Arizona. Clemson, great story. Great season. Hell of a season. The fact they're here, Brad Brownell has been on the hot seat a number of times. And enough with that. That's it. It's over. He has done a great job with the Clemson program. PJ Hall, Chase Hunter, Joe Girard, they've got dudes. And those dudes performed last night. That was a terrific win over Baylor for the Clemson Tigers. But they're going to run into an Arizona team that's got Caleb Love cooking for them, that's got Umar Ballo on the inside, that's got Keyshawn Johnson. So I feel confident in that. Who else do I feel confident in? Not much else, because Alabama, to me, flipped a switch. Alabama went through some late regular season issues. I think this weekend was really good for them. And, they beat Charleston and Grand Canyon to get to a Sweet 16. Nobody asked you how you got there. All that matters is that you got there. Well, one of the big problems I have this morning, guys, and I don't know how you feel, I would love to know. I'm seeing people on social media say, well, they're supposed to be there. They're supposed to be there. They're supposed to beat lower seeded teams. Why are we crediting them? Excuse me. Ask Auburn how they feel right now. Ask Wisconsin how it feels right now. I could go ask Kentucky how it feels right now. You don't apologize for March Madness wins.
Yeah.
So Alabama, to me, can give North Carolina a game. You know why? Mark Sears is fantastic. Nate Oates is a heck of a coach. And they're getting well-rounded production. They can score with North Carolina. They got to find a way to play a little bit of defense. If they don't defend at all, they're going to lose.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Baycott versus Pringle. If Pringle's able to elevate his game and just have somewhat of a stalemate, I'm with you. I think Alabama.
Yeah, John, I want to know what one seed are you least confident in right now? Would that be North Carolina since they're playing Bama? Would that be Purdue with Gonzaga? Right now, watching Houston, Houston and Duke, that's going to be a hell of a basketball game, especially what Houston had to do in escape and late show heroics against A&M.
Yeah, it's probably Houston. It's probably Houston that I'm least confident on because, they scored 100, but they're not going to do that every game. And that says to me that maybe defensively they're having some issues right now because that was not their type of game.
Yeah.
And they committed a lot of fouls in that game. So it's interesting. They survived, and good on them that they did. But right now, to me, they got an incredible performance from Emmanuel Sharp. And if Sharp doesn't give them that 30 points, obviously they're sitting at home right now. But that's not an every game type of thing. And it's just dealing with Duke's guards. Duke, the best thing that happened to Duke, fellas, was they lost early in the ACC tournament. They had not lost their first game in the ACC tournament since 2013.
Wow.
But by doing that, John Shire said he called his group into the lab. And he said, listen, we lost. You're not going to lick nobody's going to feel sorry for you here. We have a very rare week-long gap, fellas, to get ready for our new season. And in that season, if you lose, you don't get another week-long gap.
Nope.
You're done.
Yeah.
So I am reserved. I think that Duke will beat Houston.
Well, if McCain keeps shooting like that, that guy in the first half unconscious.
He made 6 in the
watching
first
him. I will say, and when embarrassment is a hell of a fuel. It is a hell of a fuel. And when you're at a place like Duke and you become the team that dropped the first game in the conference tournament, first time since 2013, you talk about just in general, but to an 18 to 22-year-old, nothing is more driving than being embarrassed or feeling like you let everybody down. That's a hell of a fuel. That is a hell of a fuel.
All right, let's go to Ruka 617. John, they want to know, loving the Creighton and Tennessee matchup. What do my Vols have to do to pull this one out?
Well, you've got to get more than to me, it comes down to complementary pieces in this game as well. So Connect is a great scorer. But I think it's important for Jonas Adu and for Josiah Jordan-James, for Tennessee's physicality, to be ready for the fight with Ryan Kalkbrenner. Getting Kalkbrenner in foul trouble would be big for Tennessee. Kalkbrenner commits fewest fouls of a big man that you're going to find. Creighton only fouls 11 times per game. Tennessee's got to be the aggressor in this. They got to be the aggressor in this. You got to lock up Stephen Ashworth. You got to make his life difficult. The Creighton point guard was left open against Oregon. Oregon elected to have him shoot the basketball. Bad move. As the game went on, he hit some massive threes for Creighton. You got to get Creighton a little bit frazzled when Creighton's on offense. You can't let them run their stuff. Now, Tennessee blows up stuff defensively. Yeah. They're a great team at guarding. They just blow up ball screens.
Get in the gaps.
They're physical. So that's going to be the key for Tennessee to win this game. But the thing is, at the end of the day, it can't just be the Connect show. They've got to find a nice formula offensively to win this game. And the only worry I have with Tennessee is that at times that offense disappears for 3 or 4 or 5 minutes. You don't want that to disappear during a time in the game when Baylor Shireman and Trey Alexander start cooking, because those two are two of the best shot makers in college hoops. You cannot, if you're Tennessee, you cannot just drop off offensively when you get to this stage. I picked Tennessee to make the national championship game because I feel as though Connect opens up their offense, and Vescovi and Ziegler do the same in the way they initiate it. Now Tennessee is your time to show that against Creighton.
Yeah. Are there two more teams that are almost mirror images? I do think Tennessee is a little more physical defensively. Look at the way these teams are built. Creighton, Ashworth, Ziegler, small, undersized point guards that can run the show, that they can be a threat from three, but they're the maestros. Baylor Shireman and Dalton Connect, two, basically big guards, right? Which I know they can play the small, but big guards that are able to go out there and shoot. They can drive, they can create. Adu, Kalkbrenner, two big guys that can shoot the mid-range, that are physical down low, that alter shots. Then Trey Alexander and Vescovi. That's the matchup I'm seeing. That's where I see Creighton has the advantage because Vescovi hadn't been asked to be the guy that he was last year. That's what makes this matchup so fascinating. I can't wait to see. I got Tennessee winning it, John. So they're still in it. But, hell, who knows, man? But I tell you what, it's always fun to get you on here. I know it's been a late night for you. I appreciate you hopping up with us this morning. Nobody grinds like you do, my friend. Tell everybody where they can find all your fantastic work because you're everywhere right now.
Jake, you can follow me at JOHN_Fanta with an F off the top. Fanta rhyming with Santa. John _Fanta. Find me on X. You can find me on social media platforms and foxsports.com at CBB on Fox. Have a column this morning on UConn Stephon Castle, who in my mind will be an NBA draft lottery pick, but is a rare breed for a college freshman with the way that he's defending. That's up at foxsports.com. A pleasure to join you guys. Happy Madness.
Hey, you too. Just like Santa, you always bring good gifts, my friend. Thank you, John. Hey, what's up, YouTube? Hope you joined us on the live stream for the first round of the college basketball tournament. Had a ton of fun. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, turn that notification bell on so you know when we drop content.